Welcome back, everyone. Today it's a great day. It's Royce's birthday and we're here back at the cabin enjoying some cool weather. Some snow is on the way and we're gonna have lots of fun today. Stay tuned. You can see in the background Royce is getting ready to go on a morning walk with me and the Bravo is all ready to roll. Made some trails in yesterday, so we'll have a little bit better go of it this time here at the cabin. Yesterday the weather was pretty rough, a lot of snow squalls on the way in here, and it was warm during the day, and it was about, I don't know, like -2, and then it plummeted to -17 overnight. So the cabin was nice and toasty warm, that's for sure. So this morning it's actually supposed to warm up to, I think, 1 degree or something like that, and then go down to -2 tonight. So weather's still a little bit wacky, but we'll take it. I'll take it. Anytime at the cabin's a good time. We had lots of fun with the snow machine yesterday, making trail. He loves chasing the snow machine and being chased by it. So it was nice to see his, his stamina back again, that he was able to rush around after the snowmobile. So I had to be careful because he just doesn't know his own limits still, but it's nice to see he's feeling so good. Keeping my eye on the sky, because you know what happened yesterday, everyone? When we were walking in, an eagle flew right over our heads. So that was really cool, like really like low buzz, like probably as low as that tree, the top of that tree right there. Big white tail, big body, beautiful. So they're still, must be hunting around some open water around here, getting some fish. When Royce was a puppy, one swooped really, really close, and he kind of has a big respect for eagles. It pretty much was thinking about eating him. And so when he saw it, he sat right down yesterday. So that's pretty funny. So I don't know, it's probably around. I'm going to keep my eyes open. Hopefully we'll catch it on video. I didn't have my camera out when it flew over us. Darn. But maybe it'll come back today. Way better to walk on this than the snowshoes and the deep stuff. If I walk off the trail, it's going to be pretty deep. We ended up getting another foot of snow since I was here last. So it's nice to see more snow again. I think it's really important to get a good snowpack for the winter. And, it's water for the plants come spring. So yeah, I don't mind it. It's just a little hard going to get through, and sometimes the Bravo gets stuck. Last time I was here, I didn't make the trails because it was just like completely soaking wet snow, and I just knew I was going to get stuck. So much better to do it when it's a little bit cooler, and it's not so thick packing snow. He loves to play this game where he grabs my mitten. He used to do this as a baby. I still let him do it sometimes. I know it's bad, but he is a pretty funny guy. Well, I'm really glad he's doing so well. We had quite a couple of years, with his blastомycosis infection. Oh my god. One sec. He's turned out to be a great dog, I mean, I put so many hours, hundreds of hours of training into him, so, I'll let him have a little fun here and there. He's a really good boy. I remember bringing him to the cabin the first time. I don't know if you guys have seen that video. You should go back and watch it. He is so small, but I remember being so amazed at what he could do, like to scent his way around, like he knew exactly where he was, where the cabin was, just following the scent of his little footprints on the way back. Developing his confidence. I raised him a little unconventionally, I guess, where, he was allowed in the woods at, 9 weeks old with me, just to kind of explore and gain his confidence, jumping over logs, jumping over streams. It just made a huge difference, to raise him the way, I wanted him to be, starting from, a really young age. So, and then of course we did the formal puppy classes and stuff like that, which was a little hairy. When he was 7 months old, I put him through formal training. And of course, that's the stage when, they just are a little bit rebellious and they pretend they forgot all the basics that they learned when they were really little. And of course, he's all silly. Like, he was literally all that time. Like, don't grab my glove there. He was just, all he wanted to do was play around in class. It was a little embarrassing. He was the rebel in the group, but he turned out really well. And when we finished our more advanced training this past fall and got our certification, he was a lot older. He's about 18 months, and so he, he smartened up, and we passed the class. But they're a stubborn breed of dog, and it's not for everybody. You need to be very persistent with them and consistent and fair for them to do well. So I know he's done really well, and I couldn't ask for a better dog. Here's some more years, Royce. Happy birthday. Always on watch. Last night we heard some snapping of twigs behind the cabin. Could have been the cold, but we might want to go back there today and see if we see any tracks. Hey, and we'll see what's back there. May have been a deer. Who knows? Well, we'll go find out. Well, that was lots of fun. We just opened up a new trail up in the field, and it was so much easier today to make those trails because right now at minus 17 or whatever, it's really really cold crystalline snow, so I can just kind of zip through it, no big deal. So that was awesome, and he had his morning exercise. Now he'll probably sleep really well for the rest of the morning. Some coffee started this morning. Probably make some pancakes, but we'll see. Just hoping it's going to turn itself on and take him for a ride, but he's done a little bit too much this morning. I don't want him to overexert himself, but you can see he's pretty happy to hang out with Snowmobile Friend, as we like to call it. Yeah, it's a beautiful morning. I think it's going to snow a little bit, which is okay. Ah, my thermometer broke. I hate when this happens, when like the little column of alcohol just kind of breaks up. I don't know if it'll ever fix itself, but it's definitely not... Okay, so this is Fahrenheit on the side, so this is Celsius right here. So yeah, it's somewhere in the minus 15 territory. No. I like this thermometer. I've kind of gone through quite a few thermometers actually here. It's just harsh weather, you know, and also I have the ones that stick on the window with little birds on them and stuff, and those ones the suction cups fall off and they get UV damage and everything like that. So kind of a bummer, but I'll get some more at the hardware store next time I'm in town. Of course, the birds are always hungry. Haven't put a lot of seeds out this winter, but they're pretty happy to see the seeds back. Literally within about 10 minutes of me putting the seeds out, boom, they were there. They're very familiar with me. They know who I am. Probably the same birds over and over and their offspring. So they're pretty thrilled to have feed. I also have a really small feeder right here, cast iron. I love it. It sticks to the side of the cabin. Every now and then you'll get one that'll kind of fly in here to eat. It's great. So we lost our off-grid Feinster GPS tracker for Royce. It fell off in the snow somewhere. And there's no way, like, you have to have it on to track it to know its location. So the time it fell off of him, it was not on. So your guess is as good as mine as to where that went. So he has a tractive right now, which is not good for off-grid use. So we're running into a little bit of a dilemma there. Off-grid trackers are pretty pricey. There is... really just only a couple out there. Like Garmin has a corner on the industry for that, so those hunting trackers that are off-grid, and they use satellite obviously, but those are really expensive. And there are some other ones that are only street legal in the States due to the radio frequency that they use. So we've had an offer to review a new Canadian product, actually, a new Canadian radio tracker, and it's just still being kind of made and produced, so I'm hoping that comes to fruition and we'll be able to try that out at the cabin this spring. So I always like having him, you know, just know where he is. You know, he stays pretty close. They're kind of a dog that likes their property and their people, so they don't tend to take off. But, you know, there's a few times he's gone after deer and stuff like that. So hopefully this review comes to fruition and we'll be able to tell you guys about a brand new radio tracker made here and designed in Canada. So it's pretty exciting. Nice to hear the blue jays back. Blue jays, chickadees, and nuthatches is what we have here today. Sometimes I've had pine siskins in the winter. That's pretty rare. And a few finches, a few purple finches. And of course, ravens, crows, and eagles. Well, it looks like my kettle's ready. I'm going to head inside and just have some coffee and warm up a little bit.
Has tested positive for COVID-19. They say she is experiencing mild cold-like symptoms. The Queen is expected to continue light duties at Windsor while she isolates.
Well, that is a new radio I have here at the cabin. It's called a Vantry, and it fills the cabin really nicely with music and you know, talk radio and stuff like that. It's got a really powerful speaker. It's USB chargeable, and it has Bluetooth as well. So if you have, you know, music on your phone or whatever, you can play it through the little radio. So my other radio, my lovely one, it broke in a couple of different ways. So I got this one for Christmas. So pretty excited about it. I really like having, you know, the radio on here at the cabin. I don't know about you guys, if you're out camping or, you know, at your cabins or camps, if you enjoy listening to the radio. But I do. Check that one out. Got on Amazon. It's not all that expensive. You know, it's really enjoyable to have here at the cabin. That is nice. Nice to warm up. We get fairly warm today, but, you know, hopefully these really, really cold nights will be behind us not too long from now. Back out making some pancakes. Got my little kit here from Princess Auto, you know, the Blackstone griddle kit. So it's got just a way to put oil on the pan, and then my little flipper here. Came with 2 bottles and 2 flippers. So it works out pretty well. I haven't got the Blackstone griddle out today. It's just another piece of equipment to set up. So I'm just going to use the old propane stove. This stove is really old. This is probably from the 70s, but you know, it still works. The igniter is a little bit shot. Got to kind of take everything apart and fix it, but what can you do? It's starting to snow a little bit, very fine flakes of snow. I don't think we'll get very much today compared to what we've had in the last little while. Pretty nonetheless. Well, almost done. Just got a couple more to go. Just heating up a plate here on this side to keep these ones warm because it's freezing cold outside. So I'll have this with some pineapple this morning and maybe some fresh cheese. It's going to be a good breakfast. Oh, there's my breakfast. Looks good, eh? Salami whip, brie, pancakes with a bit of Nutella and some pineapple. Down to my last bit of maple syrup here. Thankfully, maple season's coming soon. Well, and there's a blue jay. They usually sit there for a bit and just gobble down all the seeds. They go through them really fast. Well, I guess we're going to wait for a little hike. Royce is knocked out after his morning of chasing the snowmobile and having his breakfast. Unusual little bird there on the ground. To get binoculars and see what that is. I've determined that bird on the right is a pine siskin. So that's really cool. I was talking about those earlier. They like to eat seeds, but they also will eat, of course, the seeds out of the pine cone. Well, the wind has really picked up. Just headed out to go for a little walk behind here and look in the gully, see if we see any animal tracks. Wind has picked up, so even though it's kind of technically getting warmer out, the wind chill is making it feel kind of even worse than it was before. So yeah, it was pretty cool seeing those pine siskins. There's just a couple of them poking around. I'm just going to go back and see if there was any activity in the gully last night where like the trees were snapping, but you can kind of hear the trees snapping behind me. It might just be the cold actually, so we'll see what we see. Snowshoes on again, just make my life a little bit easier. And I like these ones kind of bear paw style because they don't get snarled up on a lot of branches and stuff. The only thing is that you do sink down a bit more than you would with the snowshoes with a longer tail on them. But whatever. I have some other snowshoes actually in the shed. They're like bear paw, but they're just a bit longer. They might be a little bit more useful for today. Bear with me as I go through this. It's a little jiggly. Not seeing too much other than a little bit of snow falling from the trees. It's kind of an area where I do some of my winter camping. Ooh. Usually there's a lot of wildlife that'll go down in this little valley right here behind the cabin. Foxes and coyotes and stuff. And now maybe deer. Well, I didn't see any tracks, so it was probably just the wood and the ultra cold there, just contracting a little bit. Splitting, whatever it's doing, if it's got some ice under the bark. So, pretty quiet night last night here. Even though the moon was full, I thought I'd see a lot more tracks, but I really don't. Again, it's tough going, so gotta take our time. Sun's coming out, that's lovely. Really welcome. I think this time of year the sun feels so much warmer. Makes it worthwhile going out in this cold temperatures with a high wind. At least the sun warms your cheeks. There's the handiwork of the Pileated Woodpecker. And behind you can see the egg masses of the LDD moth on that aspen right there. I forgot what to do about those this year. Now take a look at this. Take a look at this white pine here. Some animals have been working away at it, browsing it. Probably deer, I guess. I mean, pretty big branches. And it kind of, the browse goes all the way up here. Their vitamin C. And they're also eating, whatever is eating it is eating the inner bark as well. Very good. Love seeing signs of animal life when we're outdoors. Heading in to check on my duck box, but going through the swamp, my foot snow's basically up to my knee in here. Brutal. I can see tracks over there, but whew, it's really tough going in here. Holy moly. Oh, we persist on. Well, it's safe to say that I don't think there are any ducks in this one. It's a paper wasp nest. I'm going to have to remove that. That's too bad. And no, there were not tracks here. It's just wind-blown snow. Well, here we go. Whoa, isn't that cool? Look at this. It's all paper wasp nest. Whoa. Yeah, gotta get rid of that so the birds will want to nest in here next year. Woo-wee. Well, here it is. This is what they look like. I'd never do this during spring or summer, but so it's all papery on the outside, and on the inside, this is where they live, and they've got all their little babies in there. That's what it looks like. Woo! Feels so cool. And it just disintegrates back into the earth. It's like so much work. Unbelievable. Come across a tree with more old man's beer. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of this. Maybe I'll make a tincture. Haven't done that before. Why not? Just walking on the river now. You gotta be really careful. I want to show you. There's a big crack right there. It goes down about a foot. I don't know if you're gonna get your foot stuck in there, but the dog might. But gotta be super careful. I'm just staying towards the edge right here. Whoa, this is insane. One of the natural phenomena at the cabin. Beautiful ice wall. Sort of a drainage spot for the forest, and when that happens it freezes in the late fall, winter. It's fantastic. Another thing in the spring I love is when it starts to thaw and you hear all that dripping. It's amazing. Really quiet in here. It's usually an area where lots of rabbits are. I don't see a lot of tracks right now, but nice to get out of the wind for a few minutes. Take a look at this old cedar. It's been molded in that bent shape just from all the heavy ice over the years. It's still holding on strong. Wow, that should give us all some hope. Let's take a look at all these ridges. One of these years I should just climb it. Just get the proper gear. It's so cool. Just enjoying a little break here. It's beautiful. Well, made it back to the cabin. Gonna make some lunch now. I've got some dehydrated split pea soup that I made a while ago. Let's make a delicious lunch. So I'm gonna make up the pea soup, and you can see it's dehydrated into chunks. So what you need to do is add some water and let it soak, and then we'll cook it on the propane stove. I love these little pots. These are from Walmart. They're called Pioneer Woman. This is the brand, and they're like enamel-coated metal pots. So, and they're kind of cute. Well, this didn't take too long. Look at that. Beautiful split pea soup. Actually made this a few years ago and dehydrated it and kept it kind of in the freezer. And, oh yeah, it's going to be really good. Delicious on a cold day like today. It didn't take that long to reconstitute, actually. So just put in some water and boiled it, and we're ready to go. And there we go. There's a nice lunch for the cabin. We've got our split pea soup. I got a bit of coleslaw there, broccoli slaw, and cheese, pickles, avocado, and babette. Ooh, hot. Oh, but that's really good. It might be 3 years old, but it still tastes as fresh as when I made it. Just some having lunch. Look at that. Beautiful purple finch on the feeder. Love it. Was just going through my journal from this time last year, and yeah, look at, had a heart episode, recorded my heart rate at 245 beats a minute. So as a lot of you know, I had a heart surgery last September for a condition called SVT, which leads to really high heart rates of up to 240 beats a minute is what I was usually getting. I'm happy to report this winter, even just being around the cabin, pulling and lifting the snow machine, doing all kinds of heavy exertion. So far, knock on wood, it appears that the heart surgery was a success. I had an ablation done for an abnormal electrical pathway in my heart. So I think the surgery has done a good job. I have not had any recurrences since that time. So Really interesting to look back at my notes, but a year ago was one of my last episodes that I had, and then I had my surgery in September, so knock on wood that we keep doing really well moving forward. Currently watching the birds again, and really fascinating watching the little flock dynamics here. We've got a bunch of pine siskins feeding, and they're kind of preventing a lot of the finches and chickadees from coming in and the nuthatches. So put up a second feeder to the left to help reduce the tensions. Well, with all that wind, everything's warmed up, and take a look at that. The snow on the roof is going to break and fall off after all that wind and the warm temperatures. So don't want to stand anywhere near the cabin as that falls down. Guess Royce likes watching the birds too. They don't seem to be afraid of him either. Well, just finished a dirty task. Had to go up into the attic and get rid of some mice. Ugh. I think they've been there since the fall in the traps up there. I do put a cellulose food up there for them too. It kind of kills them just because they're just it's so destructive. I have to figure out something to do up in the attic. The insulation's all like tufted up. They've got, their own little, just like their own little, I don't know, burrow system up there. It's disgusting. So hopefully in the spring I'm going to figure it out. I'm trying to use the snow to see where the little tracks are coming in. Can't figure that out either. So I don't know if they're kind of coming up some of the beams in the cabin and getting up into the siding. I'm not really sure. But it seems to be mostly concentrated at the front of the cabin. Just like in front of the loft by the door into the attic. So further back, they don't seem to be bothering into the insulation. So it's another job that's got to get done. And you can see on the snow, mouse tracks. So they definitely like to go around here, especially because the seeds are out. Probably my own fault leaving seeds out for the birds that they're here. But yeah, they're cute seeing them running around the surface of the snow. Thanks for joining me for some adventures here at the cabin. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you again next time. Have a great week as always. Take care.